Mr. Fry, I trust that you had a productive meeting with Mr. Owen.
Oh, yes, we had the most wonderful chat. I found out the man behind Starrick's soothing syrup is John Elliotson.
Dr. Elliotson, I haven't heard that name in a long while. He was a brilliant heart specialist until he became obsessed with phrenology and mesmerism. It ruined his career. Well, how shall we proceed?
Oh, with all respect, Mr. Darwin, I believe I should proceed alone. After all, we wouldn't want to attract any unwanted attention.
Sounds very wise. Good luck, my boy. Oh, and Mr. Fry, should you find yourself with any free time, please do call on me.
trouble for this.
To the Tower of London yesterday. The most fearsome marvel in the Empire. And it's only a tenner or two.
find the doctor.
Ah.
I'm not any trouble at all. I don't want to be here, and you don't want me here.
As you've just witnessed, the application of too much pressure can sometimes result in unexpected outcomes.
Let me go and I'll be all
Unfortunately, it appears I've ruined the organ.
would you? I'll do anything you want. I promise I'm not going to. So help me God, I won't.
Send up a cadaver.
At once, Dr. Elliotson.
I don't care about your ethics, and I care even less about your damn patience. Now hand over your keys.
What are you doing?
Haven't you heard? You're fired. Now bugger off.
I shall resume my discourse on philosophy. The only
How to do it.
I shall resume my discourse on phrenology. The only true.
Is there anybody?
The idea that we can point out connections and relations which exist between the conditions and development of the brain, and perhaps more importantly, the manifestations of the mind, is no longer a pervasive phenomenon. We have previously studied phrenology from an observation of the other. The science of the mind teaches us how to not only identify, but also how to measure the mental faculties of the patient. For instance, this discusses over development and expanding insight of the
My body lies over the sea. The clock struck one, the mouse ran down, and the three...
While we are waiting, I shall resume my discourse on phrenology, the only true science of the mind. The idea that we can point out connections and relations which exist between the conditions.
I gotta find myself another job.
What's the matter?
Oh, young man, help. I must speak with Miss Nightingale at once. One of the brutes stole my key, and there's no one around. I can't get out of here.
Stole your key. Don't go anywhere. I might be able to do something.
Oh, quite. Thank you, sir. Well, you'll know where to find me, sir. Go on now, sir. I will wait here.
Despite the specimens of reaction to procedure, the soothing cerebral...
There is something very peculiar about that Dr. Elliotson. Dr. Elliotson cannot be allowed to continue. speak to Nurse Nightingale. She will know what to do. His experimentations are making our patients worse. I am sure of it. There is something very peculiar about that Dr. Elliotson. Dr. Elliotson cannot be allowed to continue his experimentation.
I have an intruder!
You have my gratitude, sir. I shall inform Miss Nightingale that I'll not be working for this asylum ever again.
Come back!
Ugh, bloody rats!
Here it is, Doctor.
We will continue our experiment shortly. In a moment, we will compare the brains of our two specimens. Since both specimens had a propensity towards violent behavior, we should see similar protrusions in specific parts of their brains. Corpses do not have boots. At last it ends. Yet I can only think of beginnings. A better tomorrow, forged with the blood of visionaries.
All I see is the blood of a lunatic.
Do you truly believe murdering an old man will stop humanity's great architect? Crawford Starrick has a glorious design for mankind.
Designs are meant to be broken.
You're a child. A child who believes it can solve all the world's woes with a flick of a blade. Have you ever pondered the consequences of your actions, Jacob Fry? Or did your father teach you nothing?
He's running! Get up on him!
He's fighting! He's here! You can't escape! I'll show you what I did! Work together, lads! Someone grab his
All right.
Walk on, girl.
Elliotson expired, and soothing syrup production has ceased. Outrageous!
Fry intends to endanger all of London at the hands of the mob.
Or perhaps he doesn't intend much of anything at all.
Thank you,
Simply content to dice with our lives.
The asylum is shut up. Medical care throughout the city is in disarray. He cannot understand the consequences of his actions. The man is clearly an anarchist.
Gentlemen, this tea was brought to me from India by a ship, then up from the harbor to a factory, where it was packaged and ferried by carriage to my door, unpacked in the larder and brought upstairs to me. All by men and women who work for me, who are indebted to me, Crawford Starrick, for their jobs, the time, the very lives they lead. They will work in my factories, and so too shall their children. And you come to me with talk of this Jacob Fry, this insignificant blemish who calls himself assassin? You disrespect the very city that works day and night so that we may drink this miracle, this tea.
I'm nearing the end of my research. Our beloved London shall not suffer such a bothersome fool for much longer.
And what of the sister I've heard of, Miss Fry?
Miss Fry shall be gutted. Soon enough. Delicious.
Sorry to interrupt, Initiate. Thought you'd like to know that Sean and Rebecca got away from Otzoberg. Berg runs a unit called Sigma Team. Violet DaCosta is his tech support. They've been hunting and killing assassins for a long time. Thank God you're all right.
Oh, tish tosh. It'll take more than a Templar super soldier to end the glorious saga of Sean Danger Hastings.
I was talking to Rebecca.
Right. Anyway, Berg's presence confirms it. The Peace of Eden is in London.
The Initiate's data sync suggests it's the Shroud.
The Templars seem to want it pretty bad all of a sudden. They must know something we don't.
The only thing we know is that we can't go up against Sigma Team alone.
Leave that to me. In the meantime, keep a low profile. Let the Initiate continue to sync the data.
Owning the railway wasn't enough. Now Starrick has bought an omnibus company as well. I suppose he wants to control the neighborhood's workers and keep them under his thumb.
Pearl Attaway is Starrick's competitor, is she? Perhaps it's time I went into business.
And Miss Fry, what are your plans?
I studied the history we recovered from the Kenway Mansion's hidden room. I'm off to a certain monument.
That Nigel's got some wee caper. Can you guess what Nigel's done?
Careful with that blade. Oh, brother of mine.
Join me.
Of course, if I...
Get down here! I'm not finished! What are you doing up there?
Prepare for a volley!
On! I see him! I'm taking a shot!
Don't you fall behind.
You lead.
Let's have a salvo.
Really? Members of Parliament and others.
So the hints you found in the Kenway house lead to the monument.
What a wonderful use of your time, following me around asking obvious questions.
Well, since Henry isn't here, I thought you might enjoy the company.
I don't require any company, and Mr. Green is following up on some leads of his own.
Oh yes, Mr. Green. That's a fascinating idea. Oh, please, Mr. Green, come and take a look at this book and stand oh so close to me, Mr. Green.
I do not.
Too many today live in what are
Well, perhaps you have nothing better to do, but I'm busy protecting the assassins.
Are you really? What was it Father used to say?
Don't allow personal feelings to compromise the mission.
Precisely. Anyway, I'm off. If I find any more wild geese for you to chase, I'll be in touch.
Be ever more pleasant for your absence.
Our new proposal will ensure that these slums will be replaced. With better, safer housing, sanitation facilities, and less open play. What a racket! You sound like a bunch of children! You are being very ungrateful. Do you really want to keep living in fire traps? Well, we cannot continue until you harm yourself.
I could use a hand. Any goings on? I need your skills.
What do you need me to do? Don't be so absurd. I would like to thank our esteemed guests, the Right Honourable Premier Disraeli, members of Parliament and others, for being here today.
Draw and shoot!
Our proposal. Lying there, you won't be a fire hazard. We have heard your concerns. There is no need for shouting. Please talk. Crowded conditions. You members of the
Any news?
I already missed going to the public meetings. Bloody feeble government.
cannot continue this until you calm yourselves. Sanitation facilities and less open flame. What a racket! You sound like a bunch of children! You are being very ungrateful. Do you really want to keep living in fire traps? Well, we cannot continue this until you calm yourself. We are gathered here at the monument to the Great Fire in an effort to ensure so great a tragedy will never happen again. I would like to thank our esteemed guests, the Right Honourable Premier Disraeli, members of Parliament and others for being here today. Our proposed legislation will ensure that housing for the impoverished need not...
We have work to do.
Just set me up.
Lead on.
Will you please stop shouting?
Irish home rule.
Don't be so absurd.
Open fire!
Our new proposal will ensure that these slums will be replaced with better, safer housing, sanitation facilities.
Shoot now!
Forgetting this. What a racket! You sound like a bunch of children. You are being very ungrateful. Do you really want to keep living in fire traps?
I've something I need you to do.
Breakfast tomorrow.
Fire your weapon!
Cannot continue. We have heard your concern. There is no need for shouting. Please calm down. There's no need for all this disruption. Too many today live in what are little better than hovels. In crowded conditions near open flame and with few methods of fire control. Please stop shouting.
This looks familiar.
Well, we cannot continue this until you calm yourself. In an effort to ensure so great a tragedy will never happen again. I would like to thank our esteemed guests, for being here today. Our proposed legislation will ensure that housing for the impoverished is not
It's in the very top. The key to the vault and the shroud.
Good day, Miss Fry. I'll take that.
You want the shroud to cement your own power. But what if you cannot control it?
And why do you want the shroud? Merely to keep the Templars from having it? How like an assassin. To hold the power of eternal life, and yet be too afraid to use it.
Eternal life. Is that what you think the shroud offers?
What I think is no longer your concern.
Coming with me? I have other plans.